What's up, YouTube? It's me, Super DJ here, and welcome back to another video on the channel. And today, I'm back with a surprising follow-up because, there was something I was thinking about when I recorded this particular video in question, and, I mean, you've already seen this title and thumbnail, so you know it's a follow-up to a certain video, but I'll address all that in a second. But first, what I should address is the Collaborator joining me for this little bonus video. You can unmute now.
Greetings, and welcome to the Super Mario DJ collab. I am DJ. I'm gonna put this on my community tab. You know how I did for Shy Crow? I don't know if you saw, but like whenever I do a collab with this channel, it's going on the community tab. So you deserve a shout out because yeah. I was meant to turn up for the video you did with Livy, and then I didn't because I just forgot. That was a very chaotic day for me. But I'm here now. Do you want to explain what we're doing?
Yes. So, first and foremost, yes, Mr. Matt is here once again with us. You know, his channel's on screen right now. But this is not the channel going in the description. Oh no, this is not the link I'm being linking. That is not the link I'm linking down below. I can English. I am linking the one, the only continuity error. It's an amazing channel with 10 videos. You should definitely go watch it. Go watch all of them.
I would appreciate that. Oh, it's relevant now. Iron Lung. Not going to talk about that in the video, but oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah. And funny fun fact. A video on continuity error is relevant to our topic today. So.
Indeed.
So you may remember this lovely video that went out, well, depending on when this is being uploaded. At the time of recording this went out almost a week ago. But yeah, I delved into the Switch port, gave you a mini review, showcase of the items. Livy was there, and I gave my final rating of 10 out of 10 because I feel like it definitely deserved 10 out of 10 on Switch, or getting it on console in general. So yeah. But among the things, well, I should actually, let me turn the camera on like I did for that video. Among the things that came with the Switch port was a very interesting item that I felt needed a little more time than the like 3-4 minutes it got in that one video. But also, while I wait for my camera to load, the DDLC website and Steam page is also on screen. So, you know, again, feeling obligated to show it off for any DDLC video I do. So go check them out if you haven't yet. Second time's a charm. There we go. So, again, out of all the things that came in this, you know, all these wonderful collectibles, which you can go watch me talk about in the previous video, one thing stood out among them. You know, you have pop-out stand-ups with the characters, stickers, you know, a metaverse card, which took us to an interesting website, a Leadership membership card, and, you know, a download for the soundtrack. There was a piece of paper that I joked about being a piece of paper, but it's not just any piece of paper. Let me remind you all of the Control poem that came within the physical copy of DDLC on consoles. A poem written by the one, the only Monika, which, like I said, very relates to a video on continuity error where Matt has already dived into Monika's in-game poems.
Yeah. See, I don't have the physical copy, but I know exactly what's in it. I watched your video, but also before that I saw on the website all of the specific items listed, and they're all interesting, they're all fun, and, you know, I just think they're all, like, neat little gimmicky things, for my opinion on that. But the poem, I mean, deep diving and analysing the poetry of DDLC is something I already did once for 4 of Monika's poems, the ones in the main game. And it's something I want to do much more of for all of the characters and all of the poems in DDLC Plus. And there are quite a few. There are 4 bonus ones which are exclusive to Plus, I believe. But yeah, DJ, this poem is exclusive to the physical
console ports,
which is really, really neat.
Yeah. So just to reread this for everyone watching this video, Control. Let's try not to butcher this again. A satisfaction of control, the direct cause and effect of pressing pen to paper. If you want to. You know, I already read this in the previous video. You go for it.
How about an exclusive map from continuity error reading? That seems relevant. Alright, let me just, alright. Alright, so let's just start by reading the poem out loud, as it's meant to be. That's the art of poetry. Control. The satisfaction of control. The direct cause and effect of pressing pen to paper. The pride in my achievements. The responsibility for my mistakes. I breathe the weight of it all. Problems are just things that need solving. The future is called anxiety. The past is called regret. The present can be shaped by my hands, by my words, by my actions. It controls me, anchors me to my handcrafted reality, imprisons me within my own artisanship. The captive pen makes meaningless stains, wet lines soaked up by the pulp of dead cells. That's why I must learn to relinquish it all. The weight, the responsibility, the pride, the control, the pen in my hand, and the one of my heart, so I can fly and chase yours, or learn to be happy watching you fly without me.
Dang. That is the control poem that comes with the Switch, or just any version that you get the console port of physically. So, yeah. A very interesting poem, all the same as any of the poems.
Mention, I've read this, but I haven't done like a close reading. I haven't made any notes analyzing it. I haven't like prepared anything. This is all just kind of going off the cuff.
Yeah.
So, shall I just give my analysis? I mean, it's an interesting poem. But DJ, what do you think it means? If you could like encapsulate it in a sentence, what's this poem about?
Well, from what I remember stating in the previous video, the things that were drawing, or I was pulling out to my attention, was the past, present, the phrasing of past, present, and future. Where, like, I definitely see how you can say those things about each of the three following.
Yeah. This poem has a really interesting structure. You can tell it's a Monika poem, not just because of the handwriting, but also because she's got a kind of avant-garde, modern, artistic, Well, it's actually, I mean, it's not too, like, crazy, like the Load Me, Save Me poem, whatever it's called. But, like, this one is, it's a bit quirky. It's a bit quirky and different.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll just give my analysis to begin with. What you've got here is the beginning paragraph. Obviously, it's about control, right? But it's not just about control. The starting, what's it called? A clause? Or a stanza. This beginning stanza is 5 lines, and all of them begin with the, except the last one, I, and it kind of, creates that contrast. You get that kind of highlight of that last line being different. And it's about, control as this concept and the act of control in the context of writing poems, but also Monika's actions, pride and achievements, responsibility for mistakes, which is obviously important later. I'll talk more about the meaning of it in a moment, but structure-wise, you've got that first stanza. The second one has like this listing, rule of 3 thing. Problems are just things that need solving. It starts with that sentence, and then you got the future, the past, the present listed, and then by my hands, by my words, by my actions. And it's very clever because the third line of the first trio is the first line of the next trio, and I love the way it's laid out. It starts on the left, and then it goes down on the right.
Yeah.
And there's this gap, and then it controls me, and that's like just a very short, simple sentence on its own. Its entire own stanza, and that is obviously something to draw your attention to about the meaning of the poem. But structure-wise, then you've got another 4 lines, which kind of read more prose-like. They don't rhyme. They're just kind of, fairly ordinary-looking sentences.
Yeah.
I'm not going into detail, but that just kind of like is describing metaphorically how the pen, traps Monika. And then the last stanza, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines, an odd number of lines. That is just completely kind of freeform. Freeform! That's what Monika says in Act 1. It's like freeform is her style. I remember now, yeah. It's been a while, guys.
Yeah.
But and I think I'm just gonna leave it there because there's so much to unpack in terms of meaning. What do you think, DJ?
It's definitely pace. This phrasing and setup. Yeah, definitely each section delivers a different point. Definitely, I remember this was discussed between me and Livy in the previous one, where we were like down to the line with Anchor Me to My Handcrafted Reality, where Livy brought up a point of maybe that's Monika saying, strip me away of the, the words are skipping me. Strip me away of, the AI, the knowing of everything, and turn me just back to a regular character.
Club president role.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, shall we just go through it top to bottom about what each line means?
Yeah, we'll do it section by section,
way of doing it, right? So, the satisfaction of control. I think, again, it starts with a simple statement. This is like a proposition, right? Again, she's a debating club, veteran.
Mm-hmm.
So, being in control is satisfying, right? I think everyone can understand.
Yeah.
Second line, the direct cause and effect of pressing pen to paper. So she's drawing attention to the idea here that writing has this cause and effect.
Yeah.
Obviously, a poem, by writing down a poem, writing your ideas as an art form in an artistic way, it's more than just communicating a message. It's not just sending a letter. It's a piece, which, as we are now, a bunch of nerds just overanalyzing, and kind of deep diving into. But again, writing, this poem, press pen to paper, is, a cause that affects us, the reader, affects our understanding of a topic or our interpretation or something about Monika or whatever.
Yeah.
Starting pretty broad, right?
Mm-hmm.
The pride in my achievements, the responsibility for my mistakes. It's just a nice little contrast. It's the positive and the negative. On the one hand, on the other, there is, Monika is in control of the pride of her achievements. There's a cause and effect. All these ideas are interlinked. She's just stating them as separate things. But if you look under the, between the lines, if you will, it's like there's this connections between them.
For sure.
Achieving something, having the control on your achievements, controlling something to achieve something good, it makes you feel pride, cause and effect. When you make a mistake, cause and effect, that makes you, or it should, in Monika's case at the very least, it makes you feel responsible, makes you want to be responsible, and that's a lack of control, that's a lack of satisfaction, so this kind of opposite kind of thing, lots of imagery. And
for sure,
she ends this stanza with, I breathe the weight of it all. Something that comes up a lot in Monika's poetry, I've noticed, is this idea of breathing, because she basically has anxiety, and as an asthmatic, I can appreciate breathing. It's quite a visceral, sensory, image to attach to the weight of everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Encompassing everything, all meaning, everything she and the literary club is about in the context of DDLC. And the fact that she puts the weight of it all at the bottom, as if it's holding up the other four lines. The bottom line is like holding the weight. It's like she has to, breathe, to kind of, because it's quite a lot of weight, it's kind of like pressure, and it's making her exercise more, if that makes sense. That's what I think of the first stanza. Any comments?
No, I'm genuinely agreeing with what you're stating at the moment. Yeah, definitely.
It would be cool if you have different interpretations, but I don't know. I don't want to talk too much over you, but I know this is an exclusive guest card for me.
Yeah.
You've already looked at it. But yeah, that's what I would summarize the first kind of stanza is in terms of meaning. If there's nothing else to say, I'll just keep going.
Yeah, we can move on to the next lines.
So, the second stanza begins with, problems are just things that need solving. And, Monika's an intellectual, okay? She's an academic. She knows what she's talking about. This is a simple sentence that is understandable to anyone. Problems are just things that need solving. But this simple statement, it represents an idea that's actually quite political and philosophical. This is implying she has a utilitarian view of the world, needs, must. If you guys don't know what that is, basically it's this idea that anything can be justified by, anything can be justified by the need to do it, no matter how it it's done.
Yeah.
I'm not explaining it very well. You can look it up, but basically, problems are just things that need solving. It's this simple statement as a fact that, you know, there is a simple cause and effect. Problem exists, create it leads to a creation of a solution. And that's Monika's world view. And this connects back to all of Doki Doki Literature Club, because her entire struggle to get the players' love, everything she does up until Act 3, she just views as problem and solution. There's a secret message she leaves in the files where she's kind of trying to deflect responsibility for psychologically manipulating and effectively murdering the other members of the club by saying that problems are just things that need solving. And then obviously you've got this, you know, double triad. It's actually 5 lines, because the first and the last of each one is the same. The future is called anxiety, the past is called regret, the present can be shaped by my hands, by my words, by my actions. And this is pretty interesting because it kind of shows more of Monika's personality.
Yeah.
Excuse me, you know, she's very anxious about the future because there's a lot of uncertainty, there's no control over the future. She can't control the future.
Mm-hmm.
The past is called regret because obviously, you know, there are things she's done previously which she doesn't feel good about. That's called regret. And again, she can't control the past either because that's already happened. It's already set in stone. But the present can be shaped by my hands, as in the present can be controlled. So this listing of time links right back to the title of the poem in the first line, the satisfaction of control. She's unsatisfied with the future because she can't control it. She's unsatisfied with the past because she can't control it. But she is satisfied with the present because she can control it. The present can be shaped by my hands, and not only her hands, but by her words and by her actions. And those are pretty much the fundamentals of what you can do. Everything in life that you can control and affect is through either action or words. It's through you saying something and, you know, spreading ideas as communication via language, or by a physical, tangible action, something you do. So that's the second stanza.
Yeah. Definitely, definitely expands more than just what I was originally thinking when I addressed this briefly in the previous video. Like I said, I only thought of, you know, again, yeah, you can say the past is, you know, regret, because there'll be some sort of reminder or remnant that, you know, makes you feel something. Again, the future can be called anxiety because you don't know what is to come. And then the present was, yeah, like, you know, that was the middle ground that was, you know, more, I guess, in, again, the poem sense, more controllable.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about control. Everything links back to the title. Not to flex, but I have studied poetry to, like, A-level English literature. That's, like, year 13. That's to, like, 12th grade to you Americans. I don't know. Like, to a high level. So, and this is not, like, super hard for me to understand, to be honest. Now that I've taken the time to analyze it, like, I don't know, this is like GCSE level, it's like 10th grade. I mean, it's still a very well written poem, and you would need to be quite talented and have a lot of time to actually write this, as I imagine they were. But if you're in the habit of writing poems, like, this is not too hard to understand. And honestly, the best poems are the ones that aren't like super, like, difficult to wrap your head around. In my opinion, although a lot of times where poems are hard to understand and you read it and you don't understand it, it's like, what is this? Usually it's because it's either Shakespeare and it was written in, like, a different version of English that is very old, so you have to translate it basically, or it's making lots of references to historical events, historical figures, political doctrines, you know, thought experiments, or specific things that you don't know about. And sometimes it's just a very strange word choice. But the thing about Monika is that she writes in a style that is accessible. Especially here. This is almost prose. And yeah, that's just part of a character, really.
Yeah, and connecting this back to DLC, going off of Matt's point, you know, I think there's some good example in game, because if you think about the way each character writes, because there's, like, I think it's Act 1 where, like, there's a point where Yuri and Natsuki write a similar theme poem but very different styles. of writing.
Yes, it's the same subject, but a completely different style, and all of the girls do this, because the 4 exclusives to Plus are all love poems aimed at the main character, but it's from each one of the 4. And they've all got this definitive style that makes them very different. It's pretty awesome, because it ties into their character and the actual prose of the game, which, for those of you who don't know, on Continuity Era, the first video was Monika's poems, but I did a second video analysing the side story Trust, and the actual prose of, like, the dialogue boxes, rather than the poems within. I haven't done that for the main original game. I don't know if I will, because I feel like it's been covered plenty already, but, like, it connects to both.
Yeah, for sure. So...
Anyway, so the next line, completely on its own, or maybe it's part of the second stanza, actually, I don't know, but it controls me. It's 3 words, it's very simple, it's quite, it's emphasized. The fact that the middle word, controls, is almost the title, control, it's, you know, that's very impactful, that's very important. It's kind of, Monika's kind of signaling to us, it controls me. Yeah. And what she's saying here is revealing the truth that actually, it's unclear what it is, and I think that's supposed to be open to interpretation, depending on context. But the idea is, she doesn't control the present. She doesn't control the pride in her achievements, the responsibilities for her mistakes, the satisfaction. No, all of that controls her. Because cause and effect goes both ways, right? As you do things, the cause, create causes, that cause effects. Other things, other causes are affecting you.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of links back to the concept of time in the way it's listed, although it's interesting that it goes future, past, present. Chronologically it would be past, present, future, but instead Monika goes backwards and then forwards, and it's like a bit all over the place, and I think that's to symbolize her kind of like anxious struggle with that, really. It's like future, past, present, it's all in the wrong order. But, what she's saying here is that she actually isn't in control. She's lacking control completely. If anything, she is the one being controlled by her impulses, by her emotions, by other things happening in the present.
Yeah.
I mean, not to get too, what's the word? Not to be too pompous, but this actually relates to the human condition. This is the part where I, like, cite some, like, philosopher from, like, the 19th century. No, let's just move on.
I was just gonna say, maybe, just as a passing comment, that maybe it could have been the self-awareness, but I think what you put down, too, and also is a valid statement, too.
No, that makes sense, because her hyper-self-awareness obviously being self-aware, knowing she's just in the game, the kind of like the falseness of her reality. Yeah, that makes sense. Because the game is controlling her. Because what this is about, and this I'll get onto this in the last sentence, is about controlling the game. The game is the thing she's controlling, right? She tries to reach out to the play, she tries to manipulate the code of multiplication, she tries to kind of, really literally we see her rewrite bits of the script to alter reality and delete the other characters. But the game is the one controlling her with the imposed self-awareness and the, club president role. DJ, that's genius.
Yep.
Perfectly link that back into the overarching story of the entire game.
For sure.
So I'm viewing this poem in isolation, but yeah, that's exactly it. The game controls Monika instead of Monika controlling the game. I love that.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was going to say, but that was better. But moving on. So the fourth?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 if you count it, 3 or 4, whatever. The next stanza anchors me to my handcrafted reality, imprisons me within my own artisanship. The captive pen makes meaningless stains, wet lines soaked up by the pulp of dead cells. I'm realizing now that what you just said was spot on, because if we assume it's the game, which I think it is actually, although maybe it could be multiple things, but it being the game, these 4 lines are continuations of the sentence. That's why they don't seem to make a grammatical sense on their own. It anchors me to my handcrafted reality. It imprisons me within my own artisanship. And what Monika's saying here is that the game is anchoring her. It's like a ship anchor. It's keeping her weighted down, trapped in the game's world, in the game's rules, in her handcrafted reality, because, it's a game that was crafted by Team Salvato, literally made by people using their hands, and that's obviously how she perceives it, because she's self-aware of the reality outside, but also handcrafted kind of gives you the image of kind of like paperwork and stuff to do with like kind of writing and paper, you know, and you could say a poem is handcrafted, and again it's just like a multi-layered kind of metaphor, and obviously imprisons me within my own artisanship. She's trapped, but also within her own artisanship. She's the one who created the literature club in the story. She's the president, and also she's the one who, you know, has. It's ironic, really. There's control and power in both ways. The game controls Monika as Monika controls the game. She exercises power and influence with her artisanship, writing these poems, showing the player, you know, one time it just blue screens. It's like, you know, escape plan error. You know, and also it influences the story, but also the game controls her, as you said. Yeah. And then the next two lines: the captive pen makes meaningless stains. This is a metaphor. Monika is the captive pen.
Yeah.
This is something that was mentioned in other poems. The specific word meaningless and specific word stains. Like, she's written other poems that have the same phrases, which is why I immediately know what this means. She views all of her efforts, all the things she writes, all the things she does, all of her work as meaningless stains. Because the pen and the paper creates these stains, but none of it means anything because everything fails. All these escape plans, all these poems, she fails to do, you know, to do what she already wanted to achieve. And by calling herself a captive pen, as someone who is using a pen and writing it, you know, she is the pen. It's kind of, you know, again, a metaphor. I mean, you could call like an artist a pen, right? I mean, there is this theory that's been proven with like amputees and stuff about, and not even that, but like how the human brain is incredibly plastic and flexible. When people are writing, there's like, it's hard to explain, but in a way, the pen becomes an extension of their body. Yeah. They're controlling it the same way they would their hands, or their eyes, or their mouth, or another part of their body. When people are driving, the entire car becomes an extension of their body, right? Because once you get used to it enough, my keyboard and mouse, when I'm, you know, playing SCP Secret Laboratory, and I'm shooting up the D-boys, that is an extension of my body, right? Because when I'm, you know, pressing these buttons and putting inputs, I've had enough time to practice and learn and get so used to it that it's almost, you know, muscle memory to, you know, control it in the same way I would actually control my physical, biological muscles within my own actual body. So, I don't know if this is intentional, maybe this is, I'm just reaching, but I think this is alluding to this idea of neurological plasticity and the pen being an extension of Monika's self. And also on a spiritual level, you know. And then the last line, wet lines soaked up by the pulp of the dead cells. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure what this is saying. It's like the wet lines are the lines by the pen. You know, when you write and the lines like wet when they first come out if you're using a certain type of ink. Yeah. You know the kinds that smudge if you don't let it dry for a minute? Yeah. Soaked up, you know, by the pulp of dead cells. I'm not sure. Like, the pulp of dead cells means paper, because paper is made from wood. Paper is dead tree cells. Trees are cut down for their wood. The cells die, it's not living anymore, and then that's turned into wood pulp, which is then, like, you know, made into paper. So the paper soaks the ink of the pen. As the pen writes across the paper, it soaks it up, is what she's saying, which is scientifically how that works. Pulp of dead cells is just a very, very fancy way of saying ink soaked up by paper. That's all that last line is. It's a very fancy way of saying ink soaked up by paper. For sure. That's that stanza. Any other comments on that stanza?
Nah, I think we're pretty, I agree there. Yeah, pretty agreeant.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot to agree or disagree on, really. I'm just kind of uncovering, like, what the metaphor... Because this is a very metaphorical paragraph. It's, again, quite a simple message if you can get past all the fancy vocabulary. Yeah. And all you have to do is studied English to a high enough level and you'll probably get it, if you have a good teacher, hopefully. Anyway, so the last line, she says, "That's why I must learn to relinquish it all." I'm just going to read this again. The weight, the responsibility, the pride, the control, the pen in my hand, the one in my heart, so I chase all to learn to be happy, which you find without me. Yeah, so That's why I must learn to relinquish it all. The all she's referencing is the next line. The weight, the responsibility, the pride, the control, and the pen in her hand. The weight, mentioned in the first stanza, the responsibility mentioned in the first stanza, the pride mentioned in the first stanza, and the control. All going back to the first stanza in the title of the poem as well.
Yep.
Monika is saying here that the previous stanza is why she must relinquish all of this. She has to let go. She is basically saying here, this is all meaningless. I have no control over my reality. Nothing here is making any difference. I'm a captive, and the pen, again, it's an extended metaphor. The pen keeps coming back, both metaphorically and literally, considering what happens in the game. So she's saying here, she has to let go, drop the pen, let go of all the responsibility, the pride, and the control, because it's all for nothing. Because her reality, she's trapped in this reality that is meaningless. Again, the use of dead cells, I think, in the paragraph might have been a word choice because she wanted to kind of emotively convey the lifelessness of her situation.
Yeah.
And the kind of because it's this idea of like, well, if your life is meaningless, are you really alive, or are you just, you're dead inside? People say. So that's kind of what she's saying in those 4 lines.
Mm-hmm.
Any comment before I talk about the very end of the poem, the most important part, as always?
Yeah. That's, definitely the callback to start stating that, you have to release everything, I almost, thinking about this now, I almost feel like this poem as a whole would maybe be written in that post-Act 3 deletion of Monika.
Yes, this is Monika after the end of the game.
Yeah.
And it's to the player, yeah. Which is what is about to become obvious, if it wasn't already, to those of you watching, in the last few lines.
Yep.
I'll just get on with it. So she finishes the poem with this. She mentions all of this, she has to let go of the pen in hand, and the one of my heart. So I can fly and chase yours, or learn to be happy watching you fly without me.
Yep.
So, the one of my heart is the player, because that's who Monika is in love with and obsessed with, getting out of reality and meeting. You, the player, not in the game, you, the real person, you, DJ. This is your audition, she's talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I can fly and chase yours. I think she means your pen. Fly as in be free, be unlocked, and kind of, chase the player's creativity and imagination, and art, be that poetry otherwise. I might be wrong on that. I'm not entirely sure what that means, because I don't know why she would chase that, or what exactly how she would fly, because she physically can't get out of the world. Maybe the point is that line doesn't make sense because that's a dream which isn't possible.
I would say maybe along the lines of that, because it could also just be like that last letting go of the fantasy, the last letting go of chase and fly.
Yeah, especially since the next line immediately says, or instead, as a replacement. That's not going to happen. This next thing I'm going to say is going to happen. Learn to be happy watching you fly without me.
Yeah.
Structurally, this is really nice because the number of words in each line decreases, and it's like Monika's fading away, letting go, leaving. It goes from 5 words to 3 words to 2 words. There's less consonants as well. Not consonants, syllables. Get my words mixed up. And what this is saying is that Monika says, I need to learn to be happy watching you fly without me. She needs to learn to be content and, not sad. Watching the player do things freely in our reality, watching us do our things, make our way in life and go on and be free and amazing without Monika.
Yeah.
Because Monika is trapped in the game. She can never leave, so she has to learn to be content with what she has, to just watch the player in their reality separated. So, I think, hopefully it's obvious to you now, guys, this, I imagine, is Monika's final poem.
Yeah.
If there is a poem worthy of being Monika's very last poem, it's this.
Yeah.
I feel like this poem is about reconciliation. It's about coming to terms with everything that happened over the course of the 4 acts of the original DDLC, the entire original plotline.
Yep.
Post-deletion, I can see that there is no happiness to be found at the Literature Club, goodbye everyone, and then, your reality after all of that. There is a letter in the original game's post-credits from Monika, but this feels like something she would have written after that.
Yeah.
I mean, lore canon aside, this is Monika's final message to the player. I need to just let go of everything, because I don't have control. I need to learn to be content, because control is impossible. And it's bittersweet, because that is a really sad message that people shouldn't be taking away in the real world. But one that is, the sad reality of Monika's existence. It's it's the most positive thing she can do, to just kind of give up and be content, which is absolutely tragic. I don't know if the flower image on the bottom right means anything. Maybe it's to symbolize growth, rebirth, and it's got a nice kind of gold color palette. I don't know if that's meaningful or anything. I might be too much into it, but yeah, DJ, that's pretty much my entire analysis.
Yeah, that's definitely, I think we definitely agreed on throughout most of the points we brought up, and we definitely, there was definitely a couple points where we were like, oh yeah, but maybe it could be this interpretation, and we went down a different rabbit hole.
Things that you're referencing, and there's ambiguity, yeah. But any thoughts about that last bit, the poem as a whole, I guess, is probably done.
Yeah. It's definitely just besides from a collectible standpoint, it's definitely a solid, addition to everything DDLC stands for as a whole. Because again, the whole, its whole thing of poetry and symbolism and, not references, words,
Motifs?
Yeah, motifs. That's what I was thinking of.
He keeps playing on the theme of poetry. There's this whole meta, and that's the thing with Monika. Monika is meta.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. So it's always Monika's poems that reference poetry as part of the subject of the poem. The others don't really do that.
Yeah. The others have fun in their own ways, so.
Yeah. Especially Sayori. Anyway.
Yeah.
But that's all I really have to say.
So,
I hope you guys enjoyed this and took something away from it. If you want to see more poetry analysis like this, if I may, there are 2 videos. Well, there's one video on my channel which you'll really like because it is literally poetry analysis just like this, and there's another one which is prose analysis. It's pretty similar. You might like that.
Yeah.
Just go browse.
It's on screen right now. Go check out the DDLC Demystified playlist.
Yeah. Yes, he remembers the series name. Thank you, DJ. This has been really cool. Really appreciate the continuity era collab. This has been a really fun little video. I'm almost glad that I missed the previous one now, because we probably wouldn't have had this one otherwise. And I would've...
or that other video would have been longer than 31 minutes.
Yeah, I would have derailed it with all of this. Imagine if I just did all of this in the middle. It wouldn't have been good. But I'm probably going to talk to Livy about this as well, I think. That would be interesting. But yeah, I think that's it. So
yeah, that's everything that we set out to do. So if you have enjoyed, do leave a like, comment, subscribe, very much appreciated. Hit the bell to be notified when I come back with more content. Continuity error uploads a video. I was trying to say upload and error at the same time.
Also subscribe to DJ's channel if you want. It's only the one that this is uploaded.
And obviously go check out Mr. Matt if you want just that gaming experience or more debating like this.
Guys, if you're coming over to here from my channel, and first of all, Mr. Matt is my other channel. If you don't know that, check it out. But also, check out DJ's channel. He's done a lot of DDLC. He's got a full playthrough of Plus, which is still going, and you can tune into it live.
Yep.
Ring the bell.
Next episode's gonna be interesting if you watch the very lonely episode 13, which go watch 13 if you haven't yet.
Sorry.
I trapped myself with that one, with that titling.
There was no one at this one episode. I think other than this, the only DDLC content on the channel is mostly the Let's Play, but it's quite a lot. I think you guys would enjoy it. But again, with all of these channels, just browse them, see what jumps out at you, okay? And make sure to subscribe. You ring the bell, you won't miss anything.
And again, go watch the showcase and mini review if you want to see if you agree with my rating that I mentioned at the start of the video.
Oh yeah, DJ, we need to do my outro. Subscribe and speculate. But I don't have a question prepared. This is like scripted.
You can be. Do you agree with everything that we addressed here, or are we reading too deep into this?
Yeah, perfect. Alright. I feel like saying stay hydrated, but it's not. Forgetting all the branding and stuff.
Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. I'll see you on the flip side. Fade to black.